Behind me here is the mighty Mekong. And for more than 800 kilometers, it forms the natural border between Thailand and Laos. And for the next few weeks, this beautiful stretch of water is going to be our guide as we explore this beautiful and underrated part of Southeast Asia. Along the way, I'll be stopping in small villages, exploring hidden corners of different provinces, and discovering stories of culture, history, food, and the incredible people who call this part of Thailand their home. So come and jump on my motorcycle and join me on this journey along the Mekong. Okay, welcome to the first location on the Mekong Adventure. I'm just waiting for a few other people to join me because I'm going to go up to a special viewpoint. It cost me 60 baht. They've given me some funky looking slippers to put over my shoes because all will be revealed in a minute. Ticket? I got my ticket. Sawadee ka. Welcome to the beautiful Chiang Khan skywalk. There's a beautiful golden statue behind me. Traditional Loy ghost masks and outfits. These are very special to this region, especially during the festivals here. And this is the skywalk. This is the reason why they give you the slippers, so you don't make too much of a mess on the glass. Now, as I said in the intro, we will be following the Mekong as it acts as the border, the natural border between Laos on the left and Thailand on the right. And yeah, it's just nice to come here. I had to bring you here because this is basically the starting point of our journey on the Mekong. So why am I? So why? Oh. I think we're about to experience our first Mekong thunderstorm. So while Zelda is no doubt going to get soaked, let's find shelter and have a little drink. Hello, Mac. Here it comes. These storms don't really last that long. And 20 minutes later, it died down and I started my journey along the Mekong. I have driven all over Thailand, but I've never been along this road, and I'm just really excited to begin this adventure properly. Yeah, this is the town of Chiang Khan, and it's very cute and popular with Thai tourists. Okay, so welcome to the first town along the Mekong. And what a town it is. This is Chiang Khan, and it's famous because it's got beautiful wooden houses, great food, great people. For this entire trip, I haven't booked a single room. I'm going day by day, following the weather, following my mood, following my energy. And so I think, because, what time is it now? Yeah, it's 3 o'clock. Let's stay here 2 nights. Let's stay here 2 nights. There are lots of significant temples around here, and I didn't know it yet, but one of the biggest temples in the area is preparing to throw a huge party over the next few days. It doesn't matter where you are in Thailand, it's just beautiful everywhere. Oh my god, I'm cream crackered, knackered, as we say. In the UK, let me just turn the engine off because I just want to say a big thank you. I'm driving around here in the Mekong, and it is hot and it is sweaty, but thanks to you for watching, and thanks to NordVPN for sponsoring this adventure. If you're wondering, how do I stay connected and safe whilst I'm traveling from town to town, hotel to hotel, and just grabbing Wi-Fi wherever I can? The answer is NordVPN. I'm traveling around Thailand making these videos for you, but every evening I'm also editing, uploading, and working online. So having NordVPN gives me that peace of mind. NordVPN encrypts my connection and it keeps my information private. Getting to my hotel, turning on NordVPN, I know I'm safe, and that's just a really important thing for me when I'm on the road. If you're on the fence and you're not really sure if NordVPN is worth it, then just use the link below, because you get a 30-day money-back guarantee. So even if you do download it and you're not really convinced, it doesn't matter, you're not going to get charged anything. Right now you can grab an exclusive deal using the link in the description, NordVPN/Paddy Doyle. That will get you 4 extra months on any 2-year plan. So thank you to NordVPN for sponsoring this video and for keeping me safe and connected wherever the road takes me here in the Mekong, which I don't know where it's taking me next, because I just hope it's going to be somewhere beautiful. Chances are that's going to be the case. Yeah, I was knackered, but as the town and the temples were still setting up for the party, I just kept exploring a little bit more, getting some footage for you to enjoy, and eventually I found the perfect hotel. Okay, I've found a place, Sai Thong Boutique Hotel, and it's not in the main town. I figured the main town was going to be a little bit loud and a bit leery, and this is just about a 10-minute walk away, and it had really good reviews on Booking, and the owner speaks English really well, and I've already met him. He's a nice guy and he gave me loads of information, and I paid 1,100 baht per night, and I booked 2 nights because, you know, it'd be nice to explore here. So Chiang Khan is very relaxing. Very relaxing. I'm just going for a stroll down here on the Mekong, on the edge. There's kind of like 2 places to walk. There's this nice promenade that runs along all the restaurants, and there's a few little craft beer bars and just loads of places you can just find. On the other side of the buildings is Walking Street, and that's the street we drove down earlier. That's lined with beautiful wooden houses, very traditional, lots of street food setting up now in the afternoon. And you know, it's touristy, they've got things for sale, they've got elephant pants and other things, but this is a Thai touristy spot. This is where the Thais come to relax and enjoy the Mekong. And there are a few boat trips going out, and I might try and get on that tomorrow if the weather's good. I think I'm just going to enjoy my afternoon stroll, find the perfect snack and find the perfect place to sit and enjoy a cold beer. But this is a great place to start. I'm so glad that this town is right at the very beginning of our journey. I am technically off the beers, but there's a time and a place, and sunset on the Mekong with a beer lao, overlooking Lao. I think that counts as a special case scenario. Looks like the sun has actually just crept behind that storm cloud, bless it. And I can still hear the distant sound for the 5th time in a row now. My heart will go on. Chiang Khan. Chiang Khan. Pretty cool place, huh? And the evening's just rolling in. There's a festival we'll go check out, and there's just a beautiful evening to admire with a cold beer at last. Yeah, this town is as pretty as a picture. Everywhere you go, you'll just find the prettiest of things, and if you're a keen photographer, you will be spoilt for choice. And if you're a foodie like me, well, you're in luck. Chiang Khan is packed with vendors, and you'll find loads of foods and snacks completely unique to this region. Right, let's head to the temple and check out this festival. if you stay in Chiang Khan, make sure to wake up early and come down to the river at 6 a.m. There's several reasons why you should do that. The first is you get to see the beautiful mist over the Mekong. It creates a very magical atmosphere. And the second is, as you can hear, on both sides, the Lao side and here on the Thai side, the monks begin chanting and singing in the temples, and it creates a very beautiful atmosphere. But the third reason is the famous alms giving, where the monks will go down the streets in the village and they accept gifts of food, drinks, snacks, rice and other bits and bobs, and the locals who live here, in exchange for the monks living here and blessing the town and making this place a holy place. And obviously monks can't touch money, so in the mornings the monks walk up and down and they collect their breakfast, their lunch, and the locals give their respect and offer them gifts. And they do this every single day, and it's quite an interesting experience. So come down and check it out. I'll show you what it's like. Giving alms is more than just offering food. It's an act of merit making, and it's believed to bring good karma to the giver. And for the monks, it's their only meal of the day and a reminder to just live this simple life. Do you live in the temple? Are you trying to steal the food from the monks? Naughty boy. Naughty boy, lah. I will arm wrestle you. I will arm wrestle you. If you do come and you want to get involved, feel free, because a lot of the restaurants, stalls and shops actually sell the offerings as like a package. So you pay and they'll give you a basket of goodies and snacks and drinks and rice, and then you can just sit and wait outside the hotel or outside the shop and give it to the monks and get a blessing. It's incredible to be here, and it's a quiet spiritual connection between the community and the monks. And just reason number 5,675 why I just love this country so damn much. So yeah, as you can see, a really unique experience here in Chiang Khan. It's something I've seen in other regions of Thailand and in Laos. You don't see it very often in the south, with it being more Muslim down there. Cool experience. Make sure you do this if you come to Chiang Khan. They do it in Laos, they do it in other parts of Thailand as well, but it's quite nice here. It's very local. When I went to Luang Prabang in Laos, it was a little bit of an Instagram thing. It's way more authentic over here. Right, time for a local breakfast. Pork rice porridge and some yummy looking breakfast baguettes. Yes please, sign me up. This local breakfast spot looks really good. When you see there's a lot of local people here, that's a good sign. It smells delicious as well. They've got fried chicken, which looks absolutely delicious. But for breakfast, I'm not quite sure. So I'm just going to go with a local sandwich and a bowl of rice porridge. Had a great stay here. Super nice. Yeah. Okay, carbon back out. I'll be back. Bye-bye, bye-bye. Okay, what a lovely stay. What a lovely time in Chiang Khan. But we got to get moving. We got to continue following the Mekong. We got to continue discovering this beautiful part of Thailand. little villages all along the Mekong are just going to be so fun to explore, drive through, and sometimes even stay in as well. So this time of year, in October, the Mekong is full, it's brown, and it's flowing fast, full of sediment and water from upstream into northern Laos and even into China, where the Mekong begins. And there is literally no better way to explore the Mekong than on your own little adventure bike. My trusty steed, Zelda. What is that? I love it. I honestly didn't expect just how close we would be driving along the Mekong. So there's the main road, which is called the 212, and that hugs the Mekong pretty tight, but every so often you can just take a little detour and come right along the water's edge. Now obviously, if it was flooding, all of this would be underwater, and in dry season, all of this would expose even more of the banks, some of the islands. In fact, just behind me there, that's the first island on the Mekong I've seen. And it's covered in heather and birds, looks beautiful. And these little footpaths here just seem to connect farm to farm to farm, so that the farmers here and the people who live right on the water's edge can maximize their yields and get as much of the nutrients from the water source, which is flowing right here, as possible. There is some scary looking storm clouds in the background, so I'm going to keep moving, but this is a joy. You've got to come up here. I am quickly learning that this region of Thailand is very special. Not only are there little towns and villages just perched in the most scenic turns of the river, but the laid-back atmosphere and the slower pace of life around here really helps me to slow down, take more of the surroundings in, and just to notice the little details that make this region so damn gorgeous. Of course, this area is susceptible to bad weather, just like anywhere else in Thailand. And so from time to time, I had to don the waterproofs and drive through some rain. Okay, it's amazing what Google Translate and 500 baht can get you here in rural Thailand. So we've been seeing these trucks. I'm not even sure that's the right word for them, but so I just was driving through this beautiful little village here and had a little stop, had a little think, zoomed in on Google Maps and found a place that looks like you can actually pay to sort of have a little adventure on one. And I think this will be a fun way to sort of learn about the local way of life up here on the Mekong. Okay, here's our trusty umbrella. What is this, the Chitty Chitty Bang Bang? I love the way they've just rigged this together. So this is a lawnmower engine or something, and then it's connected and welded to this chassis. The back tires are nice and chunky. There's also a platform here on the back for people to sit. The steering wheel looks to be taken from a little Jeep. There's a few pedals. He's got a handbrake. This looks fun. We're in business. I've done some strange, unique things in Thailand, but this one's going to be a memory I won't forget. I can already tell. This is going to be so fun. So yeah, we began by driving through the village and along the main road. We were headed towards a nearby stream, but en route it was just a great way to see the villagers working the land. After 10 minutes, we arrived at the stream's edge. Now let's see how this thing handles as we use the stream to get deeper into the forest. Okay, looks like we're going into the river. I was so surprised at how easy this wooden contraption took to the water. Here we go! And yes, it was bumpy as hell, but it was just such a great way to explore. I have to say, this is one of the most fun things I've ever done. It's so random. I didn't realize we were going to go this far downstream. What a great way to experience Thailand. Love it. And we just kept going deeper and further into the forest. Hold on! I didn't have a clue really where we were going, but I didn't care. This was just too much fun. Taxi! After we passed through some streams, we made it up into the rubber tree plantations. These beautiful trees are bled for their raw rubber sap, and it's a very profitable business actually, and something that you see a lot of here in rural Thailand. Deeper into the jungle we go. We're here, wherever here is. So it looks like there's a few other people here. This is so fun. Just park her anywhere you like, mate. What a machine of engineering. So, as you can see, there's a couple of other little tractors here. This is actually a little thing that you can do, guys, if you're in the area. This one's a bit bigger, isn't it? Look, it's got a huge engine, double platform. And yeah, I think people just jump on the tractor, come downstream, enjoy being out in the countryside. There's some ladies there cooking up a storm. You can pay a little bit extra and have some food. And then you can set a cap. You can come and just hang out by the river, swim with your kids, swim with your brothers and your sisters and your cousins. Talk about undiscovered, unknown Thailand. Oi! What's he gonna do? Be careful! I swear to God, I better not have a boy when I have kids. Bloody hell, give me a heart attack. Is he gonna jump off that tree? This kid has literally no fear. Oh my God. I swear to God, I better have girls. He just gave me a big bottle of water, bless him. And now he's leading me into the jungle. Looks safe. God, it's so slippy. Ah, so I'm Mac. Let's go have a look at this waterfall. Oi. It's so good that you can still have these kind of experiences in Thailand because, you know, if you're just going to the touristy places, you won't have stuff like this. You won't have experiences like this. He says it's up to your chin, so take a picture, yeah. Cheers! Bubble cap, Sanuk Mac. Okay. Adventure in the Mekong complete. In the distance, I did spot something on a mountain. It looked like a temple, but not any normal temple, and my spider sense was tingling. I kind of had the feeling that this would be worth stopping at. You have to be very, very quiet. So I've just come away from people. There's monks here, there's people meditating. This is one of the most beautiful temples I've ever seen. And I wasn't going to come here at all. I didn't even know it existed. I was just driving along and I saw this thing up on the mountain and I thought, wow, what is that? Look at it. Let's go find out what's inside. So this statue of Buddha is actually 20 meters long and it's made completely by white marble imported from Italy. And as you can see, it's really common for Thai people to come up here to pray, to meditate and to admire the art and just the beautiful serene environment. This is one of the best temples I've ever seen in the flesh. What a temple. I mean, come on, I don't stop at most temples, but when I was driving past and I saw the blue roof, I thought, that looks beautiful, let's come up and check it out. But I've never seen such a beautiful reclining Buddha statue in all of my life, and it is 100% made out of marble. It's out of this world. If this was in Bangkok, it would be the #1 temple. It's that beautiful. Completely free to come here as well. And I just love the fact that it's up on this mountain, overlooking the basin and down over into the Mekong. You can also see they're about to close. Look at the little isolated rainstorms. That's why when it rains, it never rains for very long, because you just drive through it. Epic. This is a top 10 temple in Thailand. Low key, it's incredible.
Right, let's get back on the road. It's getting darker, and not just because of the storms, but because it's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Here in Thailand, the sun sets around 6 p.m. So ideally, I'd like to find a place to stay. Somewhere on the river would be nice.
Okay, found a little hotel right on the water's edge. 700 baht. And look at the view. It's funny, at this time of day, the Mekong looks blue. The blue skies, the storms have passed, and it's just a magical view. Not bad for 700 Thai baht. There's also a little bit of a market up the road and some kind of restaurant, hopefully. And I'm just gonna have a bite. And that was a really fun day, but I'm tired.
Yeah, this was actually our first decent sunrise here on the Mekong, and I mean, look at it. We were just being spoilt. What a stunner.
To say this is in the middle of nowhere is an understatement. But welcome to Den Pieng Cave.
We will have an official take you down.
Okay.
We will go down as a group.
Okay, Cap. Seriously, Google Translate is a game changer. For so many years now, whenever I've travelled anywhere, you can just get past the barrier of confusion with that simple tool. Looks like we're going to get a guided cave experience. This is so cool and so random. Okay, they told me to wait for a group of people to go into the cave, and a group of people have arrived, and they've taken one look at the cave, and they've said, no, we don't want to go in there. So I'm going to have my own little tour with this fella here. And we've had to take our shoes off, which is a bit worrying. Let's go into the cave. Okay. Instant regret. It's deep. Oh God. Okay. Wow. That was insane. Okay, so my nice camera died of battery, but this is one of the most incredible things I've ever seen. I don't know what these stringy things are. It looks like maybe it might be like a silkworm or an insect. And they've lit it in such a cool way. And I'm just following this man, this young boy, as my guide. Obviously it's extremely claustrophobic, but it's something quite magical. I'm loving the water that we're wading through as well. It makes it such a cool experience. No wonder those people didn't want to come in the cave. This is, I've been in a few caves. Never been in a cave like this. Help! Okay. Help! Oh. Oh, no. Cannot. My. No. My owl. He just pointed at this like thing on the floor and he was like, okay, we're gonna crawl on the floor and go underneath this thing. And I was like, no. Because number one, I'm terrified. Number two, I don't want to get soaking wet and dirty because I have to literally go on my belly. And thirdly, I'm literally carrying my stupidly expensive camera, which I can't get broken. So thankfully, those three things combined, he politely said, okay then, we'll go a different way. Oh, look at that. All the way down that tunnel, if I zoom in, there's a statue of Buddha down there. That's so cool. Wow, this is the coolest tunnel. This is the coolest, scariest thing I've ever done. I was just thinking, I'm so glad there's no insects in here. And then there was a giant huntsman just run over my foot and I screamed like a bitch. It is equal parts terrifying and the coolest thing you've ever done. I'm alive! I'm alive! That was insane. That was really terrifying. Okay, that was absolutely insane. Only in Thailand would they allow you to go into a cave with a 16-year-old boy who doesn't speak any English, no safety training, a flashlight on his phone, Google Translate along the way, telling me about mind your head here, don't break your ankle here. Look at this millipede, by the way. When the huntsman ran over my leg, he stopped and he used Google Translate and he said, oh, don't worry, it's not that poisonous. I was like, not that poisonous? How much is not that much poisonous? Anyway, you give 100 baht to the temple in a box and then you can tip your guide. So I gave him 300 bahts because that was such a great experience. He's a young lad and his eyes lit up. He was like, whoa, that's $10, but I'll never forget that. That was amazing. Do I recommend you come and do it? No. It's a complete health and safety hazard. If you've got a sense of adventure and you don't really care about dying, then yeah, do it. It was pretty terrifying, especially when he got to the part where he was like, right, let's climb under this thing. And I was like, no way. And I just kept thinking about earthquakes happening right now. Started to get a little bit panicky. Guys, if you're enjoying this series in the Mekong and you want to continue, just do me a tiny favor, just like the video. If you're not subscribed, hit that button. But just honestly, watching and liking the videos helps them reach more people. Okay, we made it to Nong Khai. This is a beautiful city and it's very big and popular because it connects Thailand with Laos. There's a friendship bridge and this is where all of the trade and oil and goods and services and people cross. The Mekong is a beautiful, huge, long river, but there are very few bridges that go over to Laos. And this is one of the only bridges. And we'll continue from Nong Khai up the Mekong even more towards Bueng Kan, and that place is just full of beautiful things. So I'm sure more adventures, more surprises along the way. We're going to begin by exploring a little bit of Nong Khai, and then we're going to get on Zelda and head further down. I'm just beginning the day here at this beautiful sculpture park. There's lots of gardens, plants, trees, potted plants. There's also a lake full of fish. You pay 40 baht and you get a ticket and you get a nice cheeky little loaf of bread. These fish are not small. Big catfish in there. Now obviously I'm filming these videos, but somebody has to edit them, and that's me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just spend the rest of the day back at my hotel just doing some editing, but we'll pick things up in the afternoon. As usual guys, every location that I go to is in the description, so if you are in the area, come visit this place. 40 baht and you get to feed the fish. What a bargain. I'm going to show you something interesting, but I want you to remember this pagoda, okay? Keep that in your memory, because I'm going to show you something interesting. So several hundred years ago in the 15th century, there was a very famous stupa right here on the banks of the Mekong in Nong Khai, and it housed some relics of the body of Buddha, and it was extremely important. And people came from all over Laos, Thailand and abroad to come visit and pay respects to Buddha and some of its body parts inside the stupa. But over the hundreds of years, the Mekong changed its direction, changed its flow, and erosion caused it to fall into the Mekong. Funnily enough, in low tide and when the water is a lot lower, so not now unfortunately because it's rainy season, you can take a boat out and pay respect to the fallen stupa. Now boats are still going out. You can see there's a boat out there right now, and I actually went on a boat trip last time I came to Nong Khai, and I got to see just a tiny fragment of the stupa that peeks up through the water in the drier months, and the locals were buying robes and placing the robes on the stupa. But at this time of year, the water's too high and you can't see it anymore. But that doesn't stop the boats going out. In fact, yesterday when I was going for my little run along the promenade here, I saw the boats going out, and they just kind of loop around where the stupa is, and I think people can make a little prayer, maybe drop some flowers. They can't actually see or touch the stupa, but it's just interesting that at this time of year, they're still going out on the boats, even though you can't see or touch the stupa. But they did build a replica of the stupa to show how it looked. And what you see behind me, this is the stupa. The Thai authorities and the locals in this area crowdfunded some money, and they built what they think is how it looked, almost to the T. Especially, it's definitely the same shape, and it's quite beautiful. Inside they've got lots of beautiful artwork and sculptures, but it's very, very beautiful inside, and it's right on the main road here in Nong Khai. So if you come in the dry months, make sure to go on a little boat trip. You can get it from just outside of the stupa here, and if you're in Nong Khai, come and check it out and just imagine what it must have looked like all those hundreds of years ago. Okay, Zelda, it's time to keep on moving down the Mekong. Let's go. As much as I love getting to know these towns, 2 nights here or 1 night there, for me, the journey along the Mekong, riding along on the roads here in rural Thailand, is always the highlight. Isn't this a pretty little bridge? I was just driving along and I was thinking, oh, I didn't realise they grew rice out here. Obviously the main crops I've been seeing are dragon fruit, durian, but it's good to see the good old staple of Thailand being grown all the way out here. I suppose they're not short of water with the Mekong nearby. These bridges, they're typically made of bamboo, but this one's quite sturdy, and they normally just link a temple to the village. Sometimes the temple might be on a little island surrounded by the rice fields. Not much else to see, just rice fields, but it's just a nice little break for my arse as we continue our journey. What is that? Seems to be a lotus flower. The river seems to be really beautiful today. I think it's because of all these storm clouds. The sky is sometimes bright blue and sometimes kind of grey and scary. I've driven through, as you can see, I'm kind of soaked. I've driven through a few little storms. Anyway, just enjoying driving along the Mekong as usual. So let's continue. Where will we end up next? Somewhere, probably, beautiful and random, just like this thing behind me. Okay, we're really getting into it now. Now, obviously the Mekong is the border between Laos and Thailand, but I think this is one of the most magnificent views I've seen. Not just because of the magnificent mountains, but because of the rain, the storms on the peaks, and in every direction as well. And this little village that I've just driven through, it's one of those villages where, you know, all the grandmas are outside resting on those like wooden beds. Sally cap. And just kids driving around on bicycles, just having a day off from school, just enjoying village life. Very slow pace of life out here, very peaceful. And what an incredible backdrop these people have. Just wanted to share this little village in the middle of nowhere here. I think we're actually in Bueng Kan now, the province itself, but still got quite a ways to go. I'm aiming to get to the 3 Whale Rock, which is a very beautiful, famous monument in this province, but it's still another hour or so away. I'm not sure what's going on with the weather today. It's so mixed. One minute it's sunny, next minute it's moody and it's pissing down with rain, so we'll just see what the weather brings for the rest of the day. Maybe we'll do the Whale Rock in the afternoon for sunset, but if it turns on us, then we might save it for the next day and do it in sunrise. Who knows? I'm not quite sure what the situation is. Anyway, me and Zelda are just having the time of our life, aren't we, darling? Honestly, this is the life. The good thing about the rainy season is you can see it coming, and sometimes you know when it's going to be unavoidable. Ready. Okay. I wonder if I can stay here. It's very conveniently located, very close to the 3 Whale Rock Monument. I'm thinking that even though the weather is shocking, I think I still might go do the 3 Whale Rock, because the rain is creating this mist that's coming out of this rainforest. And I think the worst of the weather's gone, and I just think it's going to create a lot of drama, and it could be just absolutely epic. And I haven't seen 3 Whale Rock just after it's rained. The last time I went, or the first and only time I've been, it was dry. It was beautiful. So maybe it will be a nice experience to experience this jungle, this rocky mountain in a muddy, misty, moody scenario. Okay, that was easy. That's the ticket office behind me. It's quite expensive. Okay, so it's 100 baht for the ticket. That's not the expensive part. The expensive part is the truck. So this truck is 500 baht. So it's 600 all in. Of course, if you were with some other people, you could share the truck, and then it would only be 100 baht per person. But you do need a truck. You can drive your own, but I can't drive and I don't have a truck. So you rent a truck for 500 baht. I'm remembering right now that I did share the truck with a bunch of Thai people last time, but I think the weather's scared most people off. This could be a really unique way to experience this beautiful place, because the weather might just add to the experience. Let's see. It could completely make it terrible, but hopefully, fingers crossed, it all pans out. Okay, it's all coming back to me now. So the truck drops you off at 4 or 5 different locations, a few viewpoints, a few beautiful rock formations, and then you finish, if I remember rightly, with the highlight, which is 3 Whale Rock, which is just, wait till you see it, it's unbelievable. And so the first stop is just to admire this nice statue of the seated Buddha. All of these beautiful red rocks, which the 3 whales are made from, is very special to this region of Thailand. You don't see this in the south because it's all limestone, but this is a different type of rock. Not quite sure which one, but I'm sure I'll find out in time for the voiceover. So yeah, I've done some research and it's quite interesting. These are ancient red sandstone rocks believed to be 75 million years old, dating back to the Cretaceous period. They're actually some of the oldest exposed rocks in the entire country, and this deep red hue comes from the iron oxide within the sandstone. That's what gives them this Martian-like look, and with the erosion, these beautiful smooth edges, which, as you'll see in a minute, create these beautiful whale-shaped rocks. Just getting from place to place is an adventure in its own. It's like Jurassic Park or something. Just thankfully, minus the Tyrannosaurus Rex. You get your money's worth with the trucks, by the way. The distances between the attractions up on this mountain is quite far. That was 20 minutes. 20 minutes, and I was like, bloody hell, we're going high, we're going into the misty mountains, in the clouds. Is there going to be any views? I'm not quite sure. We've just stopped at this little viewpoint here. Let's find out. Wow. Wow. Check out the health and safety of Thailand. Dotted yellow line. If you go that way, you slip and fall, you're dead. This is so cool. What a brilliant view. It's a shame because in the distance is the Mekong. You can't quite see it because of this low pressure cloud and the mist and the fog, which you would expect after a big storm, or this humidity just coming straight out of the forest. All that rain just quickly evaporates into another storm cloud. This is definitely one of the most striking, recognizable and famous monuments in all of Thailand. But because it's so far and deep into Isan, away from any big airport, away from any big city, few people make it up here, which I think
makes it more special. There's a big group of Thais here as well, and someone's flying a drone. I have got my drone, but I wasn't going to fly it because it seems the weather's not really the best, but we'll see. Maybe it'll clear. Actually, I think that's the middle whale. Since there's quite a lot of people, let's go to one of the other little whales. Basically, there's 3 whales swimming next to each other, mummy and daddy and baby whale. And since they're there taking pictures, seems to be a bit of an Instagram opportunity. Let's go to a different whale. See, look. Oh God, it's so slippy, guys. Just bear with me 1 second. So there you go, there's 3 whales. Super unique part of Thailand, this. Really cool, I'm so glad to be back. So there's a huge whale to my right. This must be the middle whale. And then there's the drone operator. It looks like it might just clear as well. Like we might just get a view of Isan and the Mekong. This is one of the most unique places. Look at this. Look at the shape of the rock. It's so slippy. I'm going nowhere near the edge because it's slippy as hell just after the rain. As you can imagine, it really looks like a whale, doesn't it? The front of a humpback whale. Oh my goodness. I'd forgotten how epic this is. And with all this mist, just adds to it, doesn't it? Oh, I'm getting a bit close. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Epic. Absolutely epic. Ah, yes, I can remember now. You can get quite close to the front. Look at this. Wow, wow, wow. That's as far as I'm gonna go today. Look at this. I think I can get the drone up just so I can get a little bit of a perspective for you. Because these whales come alive from the sky. Truly epic, huh? Truly epic. Every couple of minutes, we just get completely engulfed in cloud and we can't see a thing. And then it clears and you can see a lot more. It's really stunning. And I'm so glad I came up here this afternoon. I still might come again tomorrow morning. I haven't decided. I might do. But just coming and seeing the whales in this environment, so unique, so special. Oh, Bueng Kan. Put this on your list if you're doing the Mekong. And come see the 3 whales. Aren't they beautiful? So yeah, that was mission success. And it wasn't long before I encountered another stunning scene just on the side of the road. And I had to pull over and, of course, share with you this beautiful moment. Reason 47,212 why I love Thailand. So I'm just driving along, me and Zelda, just driving along, just admiring the view, and I just pull up at this beautiful bridge and there's just the most incredible view of Bueng Kan, the red rock granite wall, which the 3 whales are a part of, and it's just incredible. And there's a man just out there on his little wooden boat. It is just the most beautiful scene. Yeah, what a scene. And further along, there was a stunning rock just rising up from the ground. Now, I have been here before, and so I had to come and revisit, because what I'm about to share with you all is one of Thailand's truly hidden gems. Okay, am I excited to show you this place or what? This is somewhere that I've been so excited to revisit and to share with you. Behind me here, it's just one of the most incredible looking places, isn't it? So this is known as one of Thailand's most beautiful, but also one of the most dangerous temples, because it's on this beautiful rock and it just rises up out of the sky. And they've built walkways and pathways, and there are temples and there are shrines built into the rock, onto the rock. And yeah, you just need, as you can imagine, a little bit of a solid stomach to circle your way up and through the stairways and the pathways, because they're just hugging and bolted into the side of the rock. And it's just, it's quite the ordeal to get up there. And the last time I went up there, I got so lost, because on the top there's like a forest. And I just was going around in circles, and I spent hours up there completely lost. So I'm not going to try and repeat that experience. Instead, this time I'm just going to try and discover different areas, because I kind of got a little bit flustered last time and I left quite early. So what I'd like to do is delve a little bit deeper. There's an absolutely gorgeous spire temple here. There's also this gorgeous monument here with these fountains, and there's a flash of gold up there, and it's just, oh my god, the water, the gardens, the landscaping, it's top notch. I just love all of it. Just like, look at all this detailing here with these wooden statues. Hello, little doggy. Hello. Oh, he's wagging his tail. Say bye, mate. Oh, dinga. Honestly, I've travelled all over Thailand back to front at this point. And this place, this one's a special one. I can't wait for you to see this. The trail opens at 8 in the morning, and yeah, get up there early to avoid the heat. You don't need a guide, but the signs are all in Thai, and it is very easy to get lost up here, trust me. My best advice is just to go slow and keep a memory of which ladders and turns that you take. The first of many places to pay your respects. It's beautiful. It seems to be made completely out of iron or copper. I'm not quite sure. It's gorgeous. Sun's come out, so I'm going to leave my jacket here because I'm starting to sweat. Now, the ladders and the stairs are not exactly in the best condition these days, but we will brave on regardless. Whew. Putting all of my faith right now in a rickety, mouldy, old wooden ladder. Look at it. Such a beautiful marvel of nature, engineering, and human spiritual creativity. I think what makes Bueng Kan and this region so special is these landscapes, these terrains that rise up. Three Whale Rock is the big, long granite wall. This temple is on a little sprouting mushroom of rock amongst what is basically flatlands, just as far as the eye can see.
Isan is such a flat, fertile land. It's where Thailand does most of its palm oil, rubber tree, rice growing, fruit growing. All of the farming here is mainly done in Isan. It's just a huge handle of land, lots of water available. And so landscapes like this are very unique, and don't they just put it to good use? So let's just keep walking and see for what we can find. My goal is to try and find the little temple on the little pinnacle on the far side. I couldn't find that last time. Back then I was a lot more scared of heights than I am now. So I couldn't really handle it. You know, it pains me, it breaks my heart that 90% of the people who come to Thailand don't know this stuff exists. The true Thai experience is out here. Not just here on the Mekong, not just here in Bueng Kan, but just set your sails for the wind. Go in any random direction, go to any random province. If you're unsure, just search for it on my channel and you'll see what there is to do, where there is to stay. That'll break down a little bit of the apprehension, but just do it. Get out here, get amongst it. It's what this channel's all about, trying to show you different corners of the world, different corners of Thailand as well. Ow! I was gonna rest here stoically to finish my point. And now I'm bleeding. Just come to Thailand. Okay, this is coming back to me now. I think I remember I went up here to avoid any more of the scary balcony walks. I remember being so petrified and looking for any excuse to just not do this. But isn't it gorgeous? Look at this. The scriptures and the instructions. I mean, some would call this graffiti, but it all kind of just seems to be part of it all. Look, they even have CCTV. Why would they have CCTV? There must be something important. There's a lock here. A safe. Oh my goodness. I didn't see this last time. This is so cool. There's a man in here. The camera's pointing at me, so they're obviously making sure nobody vandalizes it. This must be a very sacred thing. I'm sorry I don't know, but that's the mystery of some places to me. But wow, what a beautiful little corner, a little nook. Wow, this is so cool. Look at this guy. What a view he has. Okay, we're nearly there. It's funny, isn't it, how you change over years? Like, I've changed since I was last here. It's probably 3 years ago I was here. 3 years ago, not only was I scared of heights, but I wasn't really sure who I was. I didn't know what direction my life was going to take. I had my motorcycle, I was driving around Thailand, I was making YouTube videos, but at that point I was still just taking a break from teaching. I didn't know the YouTube thing was going to be successful. I was just enjoying myself. Now, you know, I have a home, I have a fiance, I have like myself together a little bit, and still lots of pieces of the puzzle to put together. But sometimes it's a really nice thing to revisit places and not only see how the place has changed, what's improved, what got worse, what got run down, what got renovated, but to think about how you've changed. What part of you did you renovate? what part of you has crumbled away? We finally made it to the farthest point along the ladders and the bridges and the balconies to what is basically just a shack with a great view. You know, I'm not quite sure what the significance is. There might be another statue in here. But my goodness, gracious me. The views are to die for. This is the beginning of the rock face that goes all the way to Three Whale Rock. And it's such a privilege for me to share these locations because I know for a fact, not a lot of people will make it here. So it's great to show you what is here. And my goodness, oh wow, this is very beautiful. Multiple statues in multiple positions. Another safe, which I don't understand that significance. That's quite cool. Maybe you can come and try the lock, and if you are the one who figures out the code, you get to keep what's inside. I just made that up, but sometimes it's nice to make things up. And quite the place to come and meditate, I would imagine. If you can make it all the way here. Not many people are going to be here, guys. Not only is it not really known or on the touristy route, but even Thai people would get a little bit scared. Only the bravest would make it to this little cave. Gonna head back down, jump back on Zelda, and head in that direction towards a waterfall that I heard is just incredible. And not far from here, about 20 minutes.
Another mission success here in Bueng Kan, and what a morning we were having. Right, DJ, play some tunes and let's get a groove on. 2 hours of incredible riding later, I had found my next destination, and this is somewhere I've never been before.
I've just parked up Zelda here, and behind me I've just bought a ticket for a boat. 50 baht. And this is going to take us upstream to a very special waterfall. I've seen and heard great things about this, guys, so I'm really excited.
Safety first. The boat trip was beautiful, and it was surprisingly peaceful and went pretty deep into the forest. I got a glimpse of some monkeys, I saw some birds and some fish. It was like a mini safari en route to this very remote waterfall.
You watch the world from the place beneath the willow, the willow.
Okay, we're here.
So many years, too many
And we've come
tears on your
quite far into the forest.
on your head.
Definitely, you need a boat. I've brought sun cream and a pair of shorts because I'm really fingers crossed hoping that you can swim in this. I'm pretty sure you can. In fact, I think there's quite a unique thing about this waterfall, but I don't know if it's the right time of year. I'm not quite sure. That's cool. Okay, looks like there's a ranger here just checking that there's no alcohol. No alcohol allowed. And then this is where we must pay a little bit more. So that 50 baht just covers the boat, which is fair enough. Seems to be, I'm guessing that's 200 baht for a foreigner. We're still not there. Where are we going? We've got a bit of an adventure ahead of us. Okie dokie, I think we're about to get a first glimpse. Let's have a little look here. Oh, it's a big open space. See people swimming, that's good. Wow. Oh, I just saw someone slip and really hurt their ass. Okay, we're going to have to be careful on this waterfall. Oh, geez. Oh, there's people slipping and sliding all over the place. Okay, that person that I just saw slip, I don't think she's very well. So I'm going to run back to the rangers and let them know. Somebody slipped and hurt themselves. Can you come and help?
มีคนลื่นล้มแล้วบาดเจ็บคุณมาช่วยหน่อยได้ไหม
Rescue team en route. Yeah, just as I was coming over the brow, admiring the view, I just saw this woman just completely slip, and she might have whacked her head on the rock, I don't know. Anyway, hopefully she's fine. I'm not going to get any closer or continue this storyline because I think she's okay. She seems to be sitting up now. I thought, she probably just like whacked her back or something. She's probably fine. But I just wanted to share that little segment so that you know that it is very slippy and things like this do happen in Thailand. It might seem like it's completely hazard free because everyone's carefree and everything's fine always. It's not always fine. Accidents do happen. So what makes this waterfall unique and special is the fact that it is very slippy and you can slide when the weather permits and the water levels are just correct. Not only can you swim and enjoy, but you can actually slide like a water park. So as the water comes down this smooth, soft rock, it creates a sort of stream effect, which apparently I've seen you can follow. I don't know which are the safe slider parts. My goal is to kind of like follow the kids. I'm sure the kids know. And then if it looks fun, and if it looks like it's not going to hurt too much, I might give it a go. Okay, I found where the kids are sliding. Sanuk mai? Sanuk? Oh, that looks safe. Sanuk เหรอ
ใช่เยี่ยมเลย
ย้ำเลยเหรอ
ใช่สนุก
Sanuk? Okay, oh look.
เล่นไปเลย
Oh, be careful.
เดี๋ยวโดดให้ดู
Okay.
เดี๋ยวจะทำให้ดูนะ
Okay, he wants to show me. Yes, I knew the boys would lead me to the fun. Oi. Sanuk mai?
สนุกไปเลยสนุกมากเลย
I'm too fat. Oh, there we go. Movement. Woo! Woohoo! Oh! 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 Hello! Oh! Big finish! Oh! Ouch!
Yeah, I'm not exactly the most nimble and waterfall ready person, but these kids grabbed my camera and they decided to be the YouTubers today. I think they wanted to show off their skills of riding the waterfall, and my camera's waterproof, so what the hell.
This waterfall, 10 out of 10 for beauty, 10 out of 10 for adventure, 0 for health and safety, but who cares, right?
ชื่ออะไร
Kum che alai? Paddy.
ชื่อ Bot.
Bot. Nice to meet you, Bot. High five.
There are more levels and surprises at this waterfall, but you can come and explore it on your own. Pack a lunchbox, pack some drinks, and you can spend the whole afternoon here. But since we've got way more to discover in this region, let's keep a move on, let's keep exploring this incredible province. And about an hour later, something appeared on the roadside that piqued my curiosity. As I was making my way back to the Mekong, I saw this huge cliff, this massive mountain almost, and something was golden shimmering on the top, but it was too far for me to make out. But I did have an idea.
There is an almighty temple perched on the edge of that cliff. I have absolutely no idea if we can reach it, if it's worth going up there. So what I will quickly do is I'll fly my drone and do a little bit of recon.
So yes, as you can see, this temple perched on the edge of this mountain looks truly amazing. I just had to figure a way out of reaching the top. Google Maps showed absolutely no roads leading to the top, so that got me wondering, how do you get up there? I did see a place, however, that I think we should drive to because it might lead us to the trail.
You know when you can just tell that you found somewhere pretty cool? From what I can imagine, what I can gather, this beautiful rock, again, Bueng Kan, you're spoiling us with your beautiful rocks. Obviously, the drone footage has revealed there is something at the top, something quite unique and very beautiful, and I can't wait to get up there, but I think getting up there might be a struggle because it doesn't exactly look like a walk in the park to get all the way up there, does it? Traveling Thailand, it's like a spiritual experience because you're just driving around, you see something, you stop, it blows your mind, you drive somewhere else, you see something, you stop, it blows your mind. Wow. Look at this. I mean, already it's ridiculously beautiful. I haven't seen anything like this before. This is totally unique. And this isn't even the beginning of the trail. I feel like I'm gonna sweat.
Just around the corner, I found what we were looking for, but there was a slight issue.
Okay, good news and bad news. The good news is, this is the entrance to the Naga cave hike up to the beautiful temple experience. And there are a lot of people here who are all having lunch and drinking water and recovering because it looks quite strenuous. The bad news is, the cutoff to go up there is at 2 o'clock. And I've missed the cutoff, not by very much. to be honest. It's 20 minutes past. And they just will not let me go up there. But that's okay, because not far from here is the Mekong. I'll just go find a nice guest house, relax by the river, and we'll come and do this tomorrow. But what I'll do to save you hassle, because I really want to include this in the Bueng Kan episode, the only reason why I haven't gone up there is 20 minutes. So let me just cut to tomorrow, early in the morning, when I'm going to go up there. And I just wanted to be transparent. I didn't just magically get off the bike and go up there. I missed the cutoff. So let's just include the hike in the next section of the video. Okie dokie, welcome to the Naka Cave trailhead. So I've come back, it's the following morning, nice and early. They open at 6, I got here at like 6:30, and I've got myself a guide. I've just paid 500 baht for a guide, 100 baht for entrance into the national park, and I've just signed my life away. I'm not sure what to expect, but I just feel like this is going to be such a unique, wonderful thing because it's quite expensive. So that normally means it's going to be a big thing. There's a guide, so that means that's mandatory. You can't just walk up here on your own. So it's obviously going to be a very beautiful and important place that they want to make sure is kept well. But what's up there, I don't know. I really don't know. Obviously, we saw the beautiful statue on the top, but that's not what I think is the jewel. I think the jewels are inside the caves and just the experience alone. We're beginning by going through the jungle. Okay, so I've lost my guide. I don't think he could keep up with me even after the first flight of stairs. He was huffing and puffing. I'm fresh off the TMB, so I'm fit as a fiddle. This rock, by the way, you can see why they call it the Naga Cave or the Naka Cave, right? Because that beautiful serpent that you see outside so many temples, we've seen so many of them on this trip. Well, this rock looks like the scales of a serpent. It looks like maybe Naga is in the cave, on its way into the cave, and like a part of its body is snaking out, and it's kind of like creating this effect that this rock could be, according to legend, obviously. But it's just staircase. Whew. Beautiful. Okay, the sweat is starting to come. But look at this, they've like built the ladders in between the cracks of the rocks. Wow, this province is just so beautiful, so underrated. Even me, I've been here before. I skipped most of the beauty of this province without knowing it. It feels so good to be back, sharing with you more of this untouched beauty. Bueng Kan. Just look at these rocks, look at these trees, look at these forests. Look at these bloody stairs. Again, this rock here is very scaly, almost as if the serpent has snaked out of the cave once more. This is like a corridor where both sides are the scales of the serpent, and there's this beautiful entrance into the cave. I've caught up with another guide and another group, which is good. You're not allowed to touch it, but I would love to touch it. Try to remember not to touch. What's really interesting is seeds must have fallen through the cracks, and the trees have somehow, like against all odds, grown up through the crack in the wall and crack in the rock, and they've reached sunlight, and they're thriving now. Anyway, we're going to continue through this beautiful rock, and wow, this is epic. This is so epic. If you're into geology, if you're into nature. Trying my best not to touch anything. Okay, there's a beautiful statue here, and the group was just praying, so I let them do their thing, taking some pictures of the wild animals that call this cave home. Also, look, my guide! Woo! He caught me up. He found me. He was like, bloody hell. Okay, so let's go. You know how it is if you've done the hiking in Thailand. You know, it's a bit slower pace than normal. So I just had to keep going. This is the Naga's head. Because that's the head. This is the ear. This is the ear. And he just told me that you're supposed to whisper something that you want. And the snake will try his best to make it happen. I just said something, but I'll let you guys whisper something in its ear. Are you ready? Think of something that you want. Okay? And whisper it now. Let's see if he can make it happen. It's so cool to be able to walk on this beautiful rock. Oh, look at the view. Whew. So I'm at... The good thing about my guide catching me up is he's telling me little things now. See that little puddle? Just looks like a puddle. But that is the serpent's eye. And then when you actually look at it, it does kind of look like an eye. And the whole landscape here, the whole thing, is this tily, scaly, fishy, snaky effect. And it's just amazing. And some sections you're not allowed to walk on, and some you are. I mean, if you weren't allowed to walk on it, you would not be able to do this hike, because you're just walking on it constantly. And there are flashes of gold in the distance. This is one of the coolest things I've done in Thailand. 100% make a trip up to Bueng Kan. I mean, look at the things we've already seen. The 3 Whale Rock, the beautiful Slider waterfall, and now this, plus many more things. Because we're not going to cover Bueng Kan completely in this video, I can tell. I think we're going to have to continue our adventures in the next episode, but don't worry, not quite finished yet. We have to make it to the stupa and to the temple. So it's pretty cool up here. It's just a big plateau. So yes, it was pretty sweaty going up the stairs and the ladders, but this top section is pretty much flat. And look, we recognize this from the drone shot, don't we? We got so lucky as well with this blue sky, this bright sun. It's just shimmering, glistening off the gold leaf. Let's have a look at the front. Ah, I remember this banister. Do you remember we saw the kids and the Thai woman up there? Oh, wow. There we go. That is gorgeous. In the distance, I can see the 3 Whale Rock and the other rock with the temple on that we went to earlier. I can see a beautiful lake that when I drove past, actually, I saw boat trips going on that. So I might go back down there and discover that in the next episode, because in that direction roughly is Nakhon Phanom, which is our next destination. Oh, there's a breeze up here. There's a view to just rival any view I've ever seen in Thailand. The distant mountains. This is epic. This is so epic. I'm so glad I came up here. And thank you to the person who recommended the Naga Cave. It's not quite finished yet. There's a few little places we'll go to, which I'll share with you in a piece of music towards coming back down, because I feel like this video is already so long and I've shared a lot. But come to Bueng Kan. Come to Bueng Kan.
Okay, it's another beautiful morning on the banks of the Mekong. I spent the night at this roadside motel, nothing special, so let's just check out, get on the bike, and get a move on. Now, for the rest of the day, I followed the Mekong all the way to Nakhon Phanom, and so I didn't reach our destination until late in the afternoon, and it was safe to say I was hot, I was sweaty, and I was tired.
Okie dokie, it was a long drive, but we're here in Nakhon Phanom, and I've just been driving along the promenade on the water's edge, and I've forgotten how beautiful it is, and I've forgotten how Vietnamese everything feels. But I'll touch on that later. This is the famous one. We've seen a bunch of these along the way, maybe 4 or 5 that I didn't even get a chance to take a picture of, but so many along this stretch of water. But this is the main one, and it's quite pretty. But look, that was a long drive, so I'm just gonna have a little sniff for a place to stay, hopefully with a view of the beautiful mountains in the distance and obviously the Mekong, but I don't want to spend a fortune. Let's see what we can find, and then we can enjoy the afternoon and soak up this beautiful town and start to learn a little bit about its connection with the Vietnamese thing. I'll explain more because I need to learn a little bit, or remind myself, why is it so Vietnamese here? Okay, welcome to my hotel room. I am a creature of habit. I stayed in this exact same room almost 3 years ago, and I just couldn't be bothered to drive around, and I couldn't be bothered to get my phone out. I just trusted my good memories of Nakhon Phanom. Nice double bed and lots of natural light and a great view, obviously, of the Mekong, and a nice big balcony actually, and that breeze is incredible. The last time I was in Nakhon Phanom, it was in the middle of December and it was freezing. There was such a cold wind blowing in. You had to have your hat and you had to have your scarf and you had to have gloves and a jacket on. It was freezing cold. I know it's hard to believe, but it was so cold. But anyway, this is going to be home for the next few days. I'm going to take a little bit of a break from the bike. I'm pretty exhausted. It's been a few long weeks of constant travel, town to town, province to province, following the Mekong. So I'm going to unpack and relax, and I'll go for a nice stroll in the afternoon. We'll get to know Nakhon Phanom a lot better and start to figure out, you know, what's the significance with Vietnam? Why is it so Vietnamese here?
After I got settled, I went out exploring the streets of Nakhon Phanom. And the more I wandered around, the more I started to notice the subtle connections to Vietnam. It was everywhere in the town, from the food being sold to the faces in the streets, and even the language written and spoken by a few of the locals. It made me curious, and I did a bit of digging around, and it turns out that there's a small, unassuming wooden house not far from the Mekong River that will help me explain this deep connection between Thailand and Vietnam. So if you don't mind, please just entertain me for a brief moment. This quiet little house once played a very important role in modern Vietnamese history. In the 1920s, this house was the home of Ho Chi Minh, the future leader of Vietnam, and he actually lived here in exile.
And the cool thing is you can actually go in and see where he used to live and learn about his life when he lived here in Nakhon Phanom.
He came to Nakhon Phanom to hide from the French colonial authorities while secretly organizing Vietnamese independence movements across Southeast Asia. The locals said that he lived here very humbly, teaching, gardening, and quietly inspiring a small community of Vietnamese immigrants all along the Mekong. The house itself is reconstructed to match its original condition, from the wooden walls to the thatched roofs and all the simple furnitures inside. Standing here with Laos just across the river and Vietnam not far beyond, it makes sense that this border town became such a crossroads of cultures, foods, and helped me really understand the connection and why Nakhon Phanom just feels Vietnamese.
My favourite part is the gardens, and they've done a really good job as a sort of paying respect to Ho Chi Minh, because he spent a lot of time planting all of these vegetables and fruits. Even here there's a sign. This caramboya tree was grown by President Ho Chi Minh. So even all of these were hand planted by him, and they've grown into adulthood, and all the flowers are in bloom. You can see lots of fruit trees, pomelos, guavas, and they're all just taken care of. There's a big jackfruit tree here as well. It's interesting to know.
Even though this is a beautiful, peaceful little wooden house with quaint gardens, inside the quiet beginnings of a revolution were brewing. The following morning, there was a beautiful sunrise, and I got to enjoy it from the balcony and the comfort of my little riverside guest house. The mornings along the Mekong are so beautiful, so if you are in this region, get up early, get your walking shoes on, and go outside.
Morning. I do love a morning walk on the Mekong to get the blood pumping, stretch and move, and just watch the sunrise. But there's something interesting behind me. This is quite an interesting technique that you see in Southeast Asia. So that gentleman there has a bamboo pole that's curved, and then it branches off into 4 sections, and then there's a net. What you do is you place it into the water, you let it sink to the bottom, and then you just wait, and then you slowly rise it up, hoping that there are a few fish just swimming, and then the net takes them out of the water. But it's just a peaceful way to start your morning. If you're ever traveling on the Mekong, always wake up early. That's the hub of activity. And you know, you hear the monks singing, you watch the sunrise, and it's all very calm and still before 7, ideally, if it's not raining.
After my walk, I had to make it back quickly because I was going to be, thankfully, joined by 2 very special people. I was going to have some guests for a day or 2 to keep me company and to help me enjoy more of the foods that Nakhon Phanom is famous for.
Okay, been here 1 minute, Finney's already center of attention. Look who it is. It's only Gary, the Roman cook, and Finley. Hello.
RC Junior.
So yeah, I sent Gary a photo yesterday. I was like, look at this, so beautiful, it's so great to be back in Nakhon Phanom.
And I was almost offended that he'd gone to Nakhon Phanom without me. So me and Finley just jumped on a flight, didn't tell him, and
Here we are.
ambushed him at the coffee shop.
So I get a little bit of company for the next day and a half, which is nice. So what we're going to do is we're just going to catch up, eat a lot of food, and Finley's taken a couple of days off school, bless him, to come and hang out.
So yeah, in order to get around Nakhon Phanom, we needed a ride. Luckily, Finley has just learnt to ride a bicycle. So that was that issue sorted. Right, it's time for breakfast, but we're not having any ordinary breakfast. Nakhon Phanom has so much delicious food. I can't wait to show you. So we couldn't just settle for one breakfast spot. No. We were going to have 3 breakfasts back to back and share all the food accordingly.
It's time for breakfast in this beautiful wooden house. They do really, really delicious local food here, but I have no idea how to order the menu. Luckily, Finley speaks and reads Thai.
Yeah.
I think he's going to order for us. Kanji la.
Now, I'm not going to go into huge detail because Gary, he's the food guy, okay? I'll link his channel and his video from our full day of eating in the description below. So if any of this food looks too good to miss, don't worry, Gary's video linked below has all the information. We loved the first breakfast here in this gorgeous wooden house. Rice congee with a side of pork toasted banh mi, the perfect pairing of a traditional Thai and Vietnamese cuisine. Next up, just next door really, was this beautiful noodle joint, and it just looked absolutely delicious. We had to try some.
Sabay-sabay lang. Sabay-sabay.
And Finally, it was time for breakfast number 3, a spread of truly unique Vietnamese-style pancakes and dumplings. Honestly, these 3 breakfasts we all loved, but this one was the best. After breakfast, it was time to explore around Nakhon Phanom. Finley has never been here, Gary hasn't been here in ages, and we just love the energy around here. It was good to cycle around, burn off some of those calories, but Finley, he was more interested in breakdancing away the extra calories he'd taken on having 3 breakfasts. I mean, why not, Finley, do you? Yeah! Nakhon Phanom is certainly worth a visit. That's an understatement, because honestly, it might look a bit isolated from the rest of the country, but a quick flight from Bangkok to the nearby airport, you will have access to these views, this incredible architecture, the people here are so friendly, and there's just an atmosphere around the river that you just can't find anywhere else in Thailand. With the backdrop of the mountains and the Mekong just flowing majestically past you, with flashes of gold and flickers of art, Nakhon Phanom is the perfect foodie escape from the manic city of Bangkok or the overpopulated tourist spots down on the islands.
Sadly, because the Queen recently passed, everyone wears black and all of the celebrations are toned down.
During this trip on the Mekong, I'm trying my best to show off the other parts of Thailand, and if you truly want to be in the heart of this country, closest to its culture and connecting to not just Laos but nearby Vietnam, Nakhon Phanom is the only place to be. Right, after all that exploring, it's time for some more food. Luckily, there's a food truck home to some delicious banh mi, where the bread is cooked over coals and the fillings are bursting with flavour. We had such a delicious lunch here.
As you can imagine, absolutely delicious.
But as the afternoon rolled in, it was time to go on a cruise down the Mekong, and you guessed it, there would be more food involved.
So all along the main front, near the beautiful golden Naga statue, you can go on sunset boat trips. They leave at 5:30 and there's different prices depending on the boat tour. This one here, we like the look of. It's only 150 baht and they have beers and drinks and food available.
We begin at sunrise today over the Mekong, here in the magnificent Nakhon Phanom.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Mekong.
The mornings here are by far the most magical part of the day, so if you're in the region, wake up early. It's always worth it.
Morning, Zelda. So, the plan for today: enjoy the morning, enjoy the sunrise, try and find some coffee, try and find some breakfast, and let's just see where the road and the river takes us. You know, when I was planning this trip along the Mekong, I wasn't really sure if it was going to spit out enough places, enough activities, enough experiences to make an interesting series. I really wasn't sure if it was going to be this many episodes. But we're here at the halfway point. When we started in Chiang Khan, in the province of Doyle, we've snaked around the provinces of Nong Khai, Bueng Kan, and here Nakhon Phanom. There's only 3 more provinces before the end of the Mekong, well, before it snakes back into Laos and disappears through Cambodia and Vietnam. But I really wasn't sure that, you know, there was going to be this much beauty, this many towns, this much just absolute untouched, beautiful scenes, nature, landscapes, activities, temples, people, food. I've had such a good time, and we're only halfway. Right here on the river outside my hotel, every morning from 6 o'clock till 1 p.m, this gentleman with his Nepalese flags, he is pitched up here with picnic tables and deck chairs, and you can just have a beautiful, gorgeous cup of coffee and enjoy the morning view.
As per usual, it wasn't long before something caught my eye. There was something golden shimmering in the sunlight. So let's pop our heads in here and see what we can find.
Wow. The Mekong never fails to amaze me. Now, we've seen these type of temples all over Nakhon Phanom and Isan. I've mentioned this before, but they're this shape because it symbolizes the path to enlightenment directly up. They're normally white and then flashes of gold. This one is particularly gold, and because it's a sunny day, it is blinding. It's a good job I got my sunglasses on. This one is fantastic. You know, normally in different areas of Thailand, I get a little bit of temple fatigue. Temples tend to be the same design, same layout, with only a few differences. But here, they're just so unique and different. You don't really get that sense of temple fatigue. Instead, I'm finding myself pulling over and over and over again. Look at these and marvel at them because they are so unique. You don't get these in any other region of Thailand. Just here along the Mekong and on the other side of the river in Laos as well, you do get them as well. They're beautiful. This one particularly so. Okay, that's a first for me. That's the first time one of these temples has been open. And I peeked my head in, and oh my goodness gracious me, it is a golden, shimmering hall with over 13 different statues glistening under candlelight, glistening under fancy chandeliers, and oh my goodness. And then in the middle there is the most revered statue. Oh my God, it was incredible. Really, 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 really beautiful. I love coming to all of these buildings, whether they're churches, temples, mosques. Even though I'm not religious in any way anymore, these areas always just fill me with some sort of special, untangible, unexplainable feeling. And I love it, particularly the Buddhist temples, because they're always so colourful and bling, like this one.
Not much to report on this section of the ride, guys. Just lots of farmland, the main road, and just a pretty standard few hours heading south towards Mukdahan. Eventually I arrived and I needed to find a place to stay, and I saw something on Google Maps that looked quite interesting.
Okay, I think I found a place for tonight. Looks quite cute. Have a look at this. So it's like 800 baht a night for a little cottage right on the Mekong, and there's a nice garden. It's about 5 minutes away from town, and I can park my bike right here, which is really handy. It's cute, isn't it? I mean, what a location. Fantastic. Another place just to rest, relax, enjoy this breeze on a beanbag, unpack, get settled, and then we'll go explore Mukdahan and find out if the festivities for Loy Krathong are going ahead. If they are they tonight or are they tomorrow? Because I still haven't quite figured that out. Oh, a little twin.
Hello, I keep
My pen right. It's okay. Wi-Fi,
แล้วก็ฟรี
free coffee, น้ำเปล่า happy days. Thank you. It's very cute. And we got Wi-Fi. 800 baht. It's a bit more than my usual 500, 600 baht a night, but I mean, for the location, they've got an executive cabin that was 1,200, and I said, no, I think I'll just stick with the standard. This is lovely. This is really, really cool. And not only has it got a beautiful garden and some bean bags under this beautiful tree, so there's loads of shade, I can just enjoy this breeze, but there's also this path that goes all the way into town. So I can go for a walk into town, enjoy the evening, and walk along the Mekong all the way home. And they close these gates at 9 p.m, so plenty of time. I've even got a key if I need to. So this is one of the coolest places I've stayed. 800 baht per night.
If you ever find yourself sat by the Mekong on a sunny day, sitting on a beanbag with the sun shining and the breeze blowing, you'll understand why it's the perfect place to take a nap and to think up a plan for the rest of the day.
Okie dokie. Welcome to this beautiful place. So a few changes that I've noticed immediately, because last time I was here it was under construction. There is a lot more to this area this time, and it's free to enter, and they even have a road that they've built and a complimentary van that will take you up towards this hill where there are many goodies. There is a donation box. I put 100 baht in because they've built all of this for us to enjoy at no charge. So there are some more bells here, and there's two things that I'm most keen to show you. The first, I'm going to keep my voice down a little bit before I go into it, because this is an active temple and this is a religious holiday, so I'm sure there'll be quite a few things going on. There is a beautiful snaking Naga statue on top of this lava field. Basically, it looks like lava And there are beautiful red ribbons which are flapping in the wind. Thai people buy the ribbons and put a little prayer or a little wish on them and hang them on the trees, hang them around the statue, hoping that the serpent will pay attention and listen. And the way that the wind passes through this forest and through the dragon, it's really beautiful, and you can almost hear the sound of the prayers being whispered out to the Mekong, if you've got an imagination like me. And then further up there's a huge beautiful white statue of a monk looking out across the Mekong. That was the one that was mainly a building site last time, so I'm interested to see how that is. But let me take you into the Naga and tell you more of the story of this creature, because it's really interesting.
In Thai and Lao culture, this Naga is believed to be the guardian of the rivers, a powerful serpent spirit that not only protects the people, but brings in good fortune. Locals believe here that if you make a wish with a pure heart, the Naga will carry it down the Mekong and make it come true. And with all this natural erosion on the rocks, it really makes it look like the serpent once lived here. Honestly, truly stunning and somewhere well worth a visit.
It's even more beautiful than I remember. Since we went to the Naga cave recently in Bueng Kan, where we saw this similar type of rock, right? It really looks like the serpent's skin. And so if you were a believer of all of this mythology, right, you would think maybe this is where it lives. Maybe it's buried here. Maybe it's fossilized on the banks of the Mekong. And these statues that they've built are just so colourful, so beautiful. I love the form of it, the twisting nature of the body, the colourful blue scales, the golden underbelly, the sharp scales, its beautiful beard, and its flashes of gold and greens and blues. It's one of the most beautiful statues of Naga. And with all of this colour, the reds on these bright green trees, it's really striking. And with this sun coming through, gorgeous. I think it would be even better to come here late afternoon in golden hour. But I think that's the best time to be down by the river today, especially with Loy Krathong fast approaching. I love this angle. From the front here, there's the statue, and then just between it is the big Buddha. And they're all facing the river. It's gorgeous. You can see right into Mukdahan and the opposite, what's it called, Savannakhet in Laos, another town on the other side.
Just up the stairs is a giant Buddha statue that used to be a building site, but thankfully it's finished. And as you can see, it's huge and extremely beautiful. You'll often see people going up the stairs to touch or place their hands on the Buddha's fingers. This is just a gesture of deep respect.
So yeah, another really interesting thing, and another part of Thai culture that we can learn together here in the Mekong, under the big Buddha's hand. I actually touched its finger last time.
Yeah, a really magical place with a fantastic view, but let's head back down to the river and find out if there's anything going on for Loy Krathong or not.
I found myself a nice riverside restaurant. Gonna have a bit of food, watch the world go by, and just wait to see how this festival of Loy Krathong unfolds. As you can see, the monks are positioning themselves near the water. I'm sure there will be some festivities, there has to be, but it seems very mellow, for obvious reasons, as I've told. So we'll just eat. I'll have a quiet beer. This is a fantastic place to be. The breeze, I feel like I've mentioned the breeze 10 times today, but it is godly. It's so good. And then we'll just wait for the sun to go down. And Loy Krathong's the type of festival that's only enjoyed after dark. It involves candlelight, incense burning, and the lanterns come alive at night. And the Krathongs. I don't think there's going to be any lanterns. There's an airport across the
across the river. It's one of the reasons why I can't really fly my drone at most of this area, because just over there on the Laos side is a big airport. I think I'm going to order some typical Thai food. Lab, some kale with pork belly, maybe some sticky rice, and a cold beer, why not? Okay, that was a delicious dinner, and as I was just finishing, the moon, the full moon, just started to rise up out over the horizon. And as the song goes on Loy Krathong, November full moon rise. And it seems like a lot of people are starting to arrive, and I think they're even starting to do krathongs in the distance. But that full moon is stunning. November full moon shine, Loy Krathong, Loy Krathong. Everybody at the klong, each one with their krathong. As we push away, we pray we can make a better day. I think that's how it goes. So a krathong normally has flowers, incense, sometimes money, sometimes hair, sometimes fingernails from the person who's pushing it onto the river, and it signifies taking away bad energy, bad karma, bringing in good luck and good fortune for the rest of the year. But because sometimes people put money in it, these little boys are trying to fish the krathongs that have already been put in the river, trying to catch them, bring them to shore, and have a look if they've got any money in. Because they might have a 20 baht note in there, and then that could be a good night on the town. Very profitable festival if you're frugal and you've got a bamboo stick for a fishing rod. So I am going to buy a krathong and push it away for two reasons. One, I do love doing it. I haven't done it for a while, actually. And secondly, me and Miss P, we're trying to get something. We're trying to bring in some good luck at the moment. And she's just put her krathongs in the river. And I want to do it too. It's still a bit early, but these people are still preparing their krathongs to sell. There are normally two types. One that's made from banana leaf and some flowers, and then there's ones that they make from fish food, because the fish food is a bit more biodegradable, a bit more, the fish eat them and it's better for the environment. Oh, สวยมาก เอาชมพูนะ
ชมพูตัวไหนเจ๊เอาตัวไหนคะชมพูไหนสีชมพูนะสีชมพูตัวไหนนะไหนสีชมพูตัวไหนสีชมพูอันนี้ก็สีชมพู
อันนี้เหรอ
ตัวนี้เหรอครับ
โอ้อันนี้เหรอ
อันนี้ก็สีชมพู
Oh, I like this one. Okay. ขอบคุณครับ Okay, I got my krathong. I went for the fish food one. Better for the environment. And there was a cute little girl selling them. Only 20 baht. Really cheap. And look, this is not the most fantastic example of Loy Krathong. I am fully aware of that. It's normally a fantastic, big, huge thing, especially in Bangkok and especially in Chiang Mai. But here in Mukdahan, on the Mekong, with the situation with the Queen, it's all pretty subdued. Plus it's a bit early, but I want to get this in the river because I want some good luck, hopefully, to come down the stream for me and Miss P. Okay, push away the bad stuff, and hopefully it'll bring in the good stuff. See, you'll have this going on all night. Families and kids, young and old, going down together as a family. They'll say a little prayer, they'll all decide on what they're going to wish for, and then they push it into the river.
You know, I've done this festival a dozen times, normally in Bangkok or Chiang Mai, and because it's so popular and it's an Instagrammable thing, I think I've always missed the point, which here in Mukdahan, it seems to be so family orientated. It's mums, dads, babies, grandparents, grandchildren, all coming together, and they're all doing it as a family, and I don't know why I've missed it in the past. It's been quite distracting with lanterns going up in the sky and fire, but it's actually a beautiful family orientated event here on the river, and with this full moon and this weather and this breeze. It's quite magical, even though it is very understated for reasons we've talked about many times. You know, I'm thinking now, I didn't even light my incense because I didn't have a lighter. I didn't put any fingernails or money in there. If what me and Miss P are wishing for doesn't come true, I think it's my fault. My goodness, it is so beautiful driving around the rural farmland of Eastern Thailand, especially during harvest period, which it is right now. Everywhere you look, there are harvesters gathering the rice, and there's people out in the farms picking vegetables, picking the fruits. It's the beginning of the dry season, so it's time to get to work if you're a farmer. I just went through a police checkpoint, which you might think in, you know, this part of Thailand might be a bit scary of a situation. You know, what are they stopping people for? Why are they, you know, pulling me over? But the reality here in rural Isan, anyway, is they're not really interested in trying to catch you out. All they're really interested in is where do you come from and what football team do you support?
You come from
London.
London,
Chelsea.
Chelsea.
Nice to meet you.
Let's go.
Liverpool or Newcastle?
Newcastle.
Now, of course, in Chiang Mai and in Bangkok and Phuket and other places, they are a little bit more after you. They're trying to check, make sure you're not drunk, make sure you're not high, make sure you've got your license and your insurance and it's all legal. And if you're not, they'll fine you. But out here, they really just want to stop and say hello and find out who do you support. Anyway, it's just nice to take a bit of a stop and admire the view and watch the rice just swaying in the wind and the birds singing and the flags flapping in the wind. It really is just nice to just stop and see the land for how it is and how it moves. We've been seeing these, right, along the entire journey of the Mekong, but we've never seen one in red. They've always been white and gold, and I just thought that was the standard. There's been no blues, there's been no blacks. But look, a beautiful red one, so obviously I had to pull over and take some video, take some photos of Zelda and me, because they just go together so well. I've never been to a drive-through temple before. I've heard of a drive-through McDonald's, but I saw this gold spire. Started driving towards it, started to investigate, and now that I'm here, I can see that this is a temple that you can come in the convenience of your car, drive through, make your merit, get your blessing, and drive. There is a staircase, but there's also a lift. Quite interesting temple, actually. These temple stops, or just any little points of interest, they're great because I get to show you something interesting, but I get to take a break because it's been 2 hours since I left this morning, so I'm a little bit tired. Nice statue of Buddha. Oh, there is a view. You can see what they do downstairs in the temple. People buy. They look like Christmas decorations, but you write a little message on there, and you hang it on here, and then hopefully the Buddha will make it come true. Always good to get a little bit of exercise after sitting on my ass for 2 hours. Oh, there's the Mekong. Haven't seen the Mekong for a while, a couple of hours at least. The good thing about coming up high is you can see where we're going. In the distance are the mountains. There's not very big mountains, but the mountains of Ubon. Outside here, there are these beautiful statues replicated over and over again, rows and rows of them. And this really reminds me of a temple that I went to in Paddy in Myanmar. I'll try and get some footage for you. That's the nearest thing that I remember seeing anything like this before. I've just had a check on the map. I've got 2 hours to get to the Mekong in Ubon, where I found a hotel. I haven't booked it, but it looks quite nice. It's on the banks of the river, and it's kind of in the middle of all of the national park and kind of like a few of the interesting waterfalls and a few of the interesting locations that I want to go. It's quite common in Thailand to see hornets' nests or wasps' nests being grown on the chin or the ears of the big statues of Buddha, even though I think it's really cool. Yesterday when I was driving, I was just minding my own business and a hornet flew into my leg, panicked, stung me in the leg, and I had to pull over. I was in absolute agony. Oh God, it's stinging. It is stinging. Anyway, that evening when I got to my accommodation, it was still so sore, and I took my trousers off, and just bear with me on this, I'm not going to show you anything graphic, but basically my leg was really, really tender, really red and really swollen. Now, even though I really love to see nature and, you know, man-made structures coming together like this, I think it's quite beautiful that they choose to grow their nests on these statues. I think there's something really interesting about that. But it does mean that from time to time you definitely get stung. It's not the first time, it won't be the last time. That was a long drive. Let's hope that the accommodation has a room for me. Been on the road today for 6 hours. I did not expect that at all. I really didn't think it was going to take that long, but it took the whole day to get here. I have no booking, but do you have a room? Okay, we're in business. Standard room, 1,300. It's quite pricey, but it looks like it's got a nice view. We're in business. So the reason I chose this hotel is because basically all around us is national parks and beautiful things to experience, which I thought I would be able to visit today, but it was just too far. It was so far. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, from the front, it's just a car park. It looks a bit like a love hotel or something. But actually here on the backside, beautiful view, nice big green space. Looks like there's some piers to enjoy right down by the water's edge. Actually, for the first time, there are rock formations. Now, look, the Mekong is best explored actually in the dry season, because I've missed so many sites and points of interest on this tour
because beaches and rock formations and old, inscriptions and footprints from dinosaurs that are normally visible and, able to experience on the Mekong are completely submerged in water during this rainy season. So actually there's a lot more to see. There's a lot more to experience in this region in the drier months. There's a little cafe as well, so while I go back to the bike to get a few bits and bobs to bring into the room, let's go get a little drink and see what the view's like from there. But for 1,300 baht with this view and breakfast, big comfy bed, it's worth it. Pretty cool. It's giving me like sci-fi fiction movie vibes. What a beautifully designed cafe. Not only is it really spacious and airy and the aircon's amazing, but the glass wall behind me here, it's got this uninterrupted view of, these are cliffs on the Laos side of the river. And they've got a beautiful garden out here. Oh, it's so nice. The Memory Cafe. Okay, slight change of plan. So, as I was enjoying my little chocolate banana drink and the view, I got a bad feeling in my stomach. So I checked the weather forecast, and lo and behold, there is a typhoon coming this way. So a few days ago it was in the news, it smashed the Philippines, it's travelled over to Vietnam, it's currently hitting Vietnam pretty badly, and it's on its way to Isan. Now, it's arriving in the next 3 hours, and then it will rain all night and most of tomorrow, all of tomorrow. Luckily, by the time it's reached here, the winds would have died down in comparison to how it hit the Philippines and Vietnam currently, which means tomorrow could potentially be a complete write-off. So I've just changed rooms because I've booked 2 nights here now, because I just feel like tomorrow might be a washout. And if it's not too bad, we'll go and do the waterfalls because we're going to get wet anyway. But if it is really windy and treacherous and dangerous, then I think this is a pretty good location to wait out the winds, wait out the bad weather, catch up on editing. And, it's a good structure. It's made out of concrete. It should be able to withstand some high winds and lots of rain. Let's just see what the next 24 hours of weather bring us. Maybe it blows away and doesn't come this way. Or maybe tomorrow is a bad day. Let's just see what nature's got in store for us. Okay, we didn't get blown away, we didn't get washed away, but it's not stopped raining. In fact, it's still raining right now. One of the most asked questions I get, guys, is about my gear. What riding gear do I have? I think you guys think I have professional gear on, but I don't. These trousers, these are just from Decathlon. They're hiking trousers. I think because they're black here, I think a lot of you think that this is like Kevlar protective stuff. This is for hiking. Okay, this is just a rain jacket. All right, these are just, 200 baht gloves from a roadside convenience store in Thailand. They're not really that good, but they do the job if I do come off, or they'll do some kind of job. My helmet, which is battered and bruised, I just bought this in Bangkok in a random hat shop, helmet shop, I should say. It's good because it's got a visor built in, it's got the chin lift, so I can, put it down like this. But when I'm trying to do my talking bits to camera, I always have this up, and then there's a visor if it gets sunny. This was about 4,000 baht. These were about 1,200 baht. These were about 300 baht. It's not expensive gear. It's not professional gear. It's not the correct gear, really. It's just the gear that I can afford and that I like to wear. That's basically my gear.
Okay, so welcome to Pa Tiem National Park. Looks like I'm going to have to pay an entrance fee, which is fine. There are loads of attractions in this national park. Ready, Cap? One ticket now. Songroy. Okay, can I scan? Okay, I can't scan and I don't know if I have enough cash. This is fantastic. Oh no, I might just have enough. Holy crap. 100, 2, 4, 6, 8. There's 200 Songroy. If I don't have 20 baht and coins, then we're in big trouble. We're in business, guys. We're in biz. Thank you. Okay, that was lucky. I just had enough in cash. And here comes the rain. So, let's just hope there's no more cash-only ticket offices, and that's us for the rest of the day. Woo! When it starts to rain like this is why I enjoy this helmet. Sorted. Okay. I thought I might have to park up and go for a hike to get to the first interesting rock formations, but no. They are right behind us. So this is Sao Cha Liang rock formation, and there's a viewpoint 100 meters away, so let's do both. What's good, because of this crappy weather, let me just clean the lens, because the weather has been terrible for 24 hours and is still pretty rubbish. There's nobody here. Nobody wants to get wet, but I don't mind, and it means we can take a really nice picture. Actually, I'll get my tripod out and take a nice photo.
This area of Ubon is full of geological and prehistoric marvels. I'll show you some of them soon. But these cracks in the Earth's crust are so fascinating to explore.
This is so cool. It's like an alien planet.
All around here are just amazing. This is also the furthest east you can get in the country of Thailand, so that means there are some pretty interesting sunrise opportunities here.
If you do happen to be in this area, okay, and the weather's looking good for sunrise, come here. Can you imagine how epic it would be? Obviously the weather here today and yesterday and this morning, not conclusive, but look at this. Imagine being here for the first sunrise.
Down from the cliff's edge and into this forest is the highlight of this entire area. Somewhere on these cliffs are ancient prehistoric paintings that have been found, and they're really hard to see, so keep your eyes peeled. There are 4 or 5 different paintings, and they are all really interesting and very, very incredible. But for me, the historians have got it completely wrong.
It's telling me that you can see elephants, turtles, palm trees, people, and other things, all right? And if you look at that, you go, yeah, kind of, but I don't see any of that. I think this is clear evidence of aliens, absolutely, right? I mean, think about it. That looks like a giant dragon, right? It looks like the thing out of Avatar. It looks like a giant dinosaur, but it's, you know, clearly something that would fight Godzilla coming out of a volcano. That's what I see. Then I see, yeah, they look like whales, but maybe they're spaceships, right? And then why are there lasers coming out of them? And then there are handprints on the wall, as if to say, like, you know, to represent people trying to get up and escape. And then I see clear evidence of aliens. These humanoid images. Why do they have these scary heads? Why do they have these big triangle-shaped heads? It looks like an alien civilization. It looks like ghosts. It looks like monsters. They're standing there staring at us. They're even putting their hands up and going like this, right? But their heads are up and out. This is clearly aliens. I'm sorry. But if I came here, right, forget all of this information about, oh, it's a turtle. It's not a turtle, okay? That's a wormhole, and the aliens are coming out, and their spaceships are shooting lasers, and they're saying hello, or maybe they're saying goodbye. They didn't have TV. They didn't have iPhones. They had to paint what they saw, and they clearly saw aliens. Is there anything Thailand doesn't have? I mean, okay, it doesn't have a desert, it doesn't have snow. Even now, all these years later, all of these experiences, all of these travels, I'm still learning and still being surprised at this magnificent country. If you're watching this and your experience in Thailand is nothing compared to this, maybe you're seeing scams, overpriced restaurants, overpriced hotels, foreigners and tourists everywhere. It's noisy, it's chaotic, it's expensive, and it's a bit of a letdown. That's because you're in the wrong part of the country. Get on your bike, get in your car, or get on a flight, or get on a bus, or get on a train. Get out into the provinces, go explore this incredible country. But there's another waterfall, another 20 minutes inside the national park. One more to go. Very pretty. This is not it, by the way. Don't worry, it's a lot more impressive than this. So that's actually the top of the waterfall. I'm standing on the top, and we'll go down below. But you see that water there going in that hole? Remember that, because it's going to look really nice from down there. Wow. This is a really unique waterfall, right? Very rare to see something like this. Okay, I've made it back to my hotel. There's more bad weather en route. Not as bad as yesterday, but enough to sort of decide to go back home. Come, Cap. We made it. The sun is shining. The weather is sweet. And we are about to finish our journey along the Mekong. This is where the Mekong says goodbye to Thailand. Heads east into Laos, then south, down to Paksay, into Cambodia, towards Phnom Penh, and then east again down towards Saigon, out through the Mekong Delta, and out to the South China Sea. This temple ground is beautiful. The usual suspects are all here, the golden statues, the Naga, and a viewpoint, I would hope. Yes. So there's actually two rivers meeting here. If I remember correctly, it's the Mekong and the Mun. The Mun goes all the way up to Nakhon Ratchathani in Khao Yai National Park. And it kind of snakes its way through. Isan meets here, joins the Mekong. That's the Mekong, the big brown one. The Mun is usually a different colour. Sometimes it can be a bluish colour. And this area here is normally called the two-colour river point or something like that. I have been here before, but this time it's a different feeling. It's a different emotion because it's been 800 and something kilometres through 7 different provinces. And it's just been so nice to revisit Isan, fall in love with it once more, and to experience it through its village life, through its culture, through its history, through its food, and through its mountains, and of course following the Mekong the entire time. And it's just been such a joy. It's been one of the most amazing trips I've done. You know, I've been all over Thailand, all over Southeast Asia, all around the world, and this really rates as one of the best experiences I've ever had, simply because there's just something in the air in this region, and you'll only understand it when you come here. Thank you so much for watching. It's been a privilege and a joy to share it with you, and I'll see you very soon.
Oh baby, I love your madness. It's so incredibly beautiful. Oh, you shine like gold, so selfless to all, and wild like an animal. Some would say I'm insane in the right in a way, but I just love to play in your fun and your games. Always hungry for more, that's just how I was born. Take me somewhere I don't know, and give me your freedom. Whoa, you love me to pieces, yeah I need it. Once you're pandemonium, life is so easy. Whoa, you love me to pieces, yeah I need it. Once you're pandemonium. Japan.